We are halfway through 2025, and if you're like most agents, you're either ahead right now, you're behind, or you're not even sure where you stand. So, in this video, I'm going to go over 10 questions that I've personally used over the years to assess where I'm at. I like to use it quarterly, and the half year point is a great time to bring these questions up and reassess for the second half. I've used these personally, I use them with my team as well. It can help us understand what's working, what's not, and what adjustments, if any, we need to make going into the second half. Now, if you watch this video, you find it helpful, drop a comment below if you want to see the next one. I have a video that ranks the lead sources and goes over, if you are looking to add lead sources to your business, which are the most productive and why. So you can see which ones you're missing. If you're in the category where you do this exercise and you want to grow, you want to add some things to your business, that video is a great video that talks a little bit more about strategy on what you can possibly implement. So we're not going to get into that here. We're going to focus more on the assessment so you can decide what, if anything, needs to be done. So before I get into it, if it's helpful, click subscribe. That's one of the ways that I know if this content is resonating with you as well. So number one, the first thing I wrote down, and this one's pretty obvious, but again, if we don't take the time to do it, it doesn't become productive. It doesn't get done. So the first thing I want you to write down is what your goal was in 2025. Do you even remember it? Did you have it written down somewhere? Is it you got to take out your wallet or an old drawer and find it? Or do you have it posted and are you looking at it daily? So whatever it is, write down what your goal is for 2025, right? Number one, and then put what your goal is. Now, while you're doing this exercise, I really recommend that you block out some space, an hour, 45 minutes, shut off your phone, shut off your devices, and allow yourself to really focus in on this and think to allow the activity to be the most productive. I mean, this is your business. These are your goals. This is going to be the best 45, 60 minutes you time block for the year if you really focus in and do this correctly. So the second thing, number two, the second thing I wrote down is, where are you at? Let's be honest. What are your current sales and pendings? Total sales, total pendings. Not how many buyer representations you have, not how many active listings, not how many canceled, current pendings, current closed. Break that down, okay? Number three, I want you to source this. Where did they come from? Each transaction, write down where it was. It a database? Was it a past client? Was it an expired? Was it a just listed, just sold call? Was it, an advertising call? And if you do a lot of advertising, what category did it come from? This is a great way to assess what money spend is working. And then if you've been following my videos, you know I don't recommend spending money on advertising. But I know some agents do it. If you're going to do it, let's at least track the heck out of it and see if it's productive or not. So let's track it, whether it's money you're spending or whether it's contacts or social media posts, or let's find a metric that's trackable and let's source it to see if we're getting the result, from the time or money we're spending. And if we're not, if you've given something 6 months and you've honestly consistently done it, it's safe to cross that off. Like, it's not working. It's not going to magically work someday, right? So this be honest can save us net money. If nothing else, it helps us realize something we thought would work wouldn't. Now, if you tried something for a week and weren't consistent, well, that's on you. You didn't really give it the fair shake. And then you have to ask yourself, okay, do I want to really get consistent with this and track it? Or do I realize, hey, I don't have the time. I don't want to make the time. I'm going to go ahead and save that money. Either way, don't just float. Don't just say, well, let's see how the next 6 months goes. That's a recipe for just bleeding money, which we can't afford to do if we're running a business. The next thing I wrote down, number 4, what was your listings taken goal for the year? Now, again, anybody that's watched my videos knows you can't have a goal without having a listings taken goal. Your listings taken are the lifeblood of your business. That tells you if you are on track or not. If you're not taking listings, you're floating, you're guessing, you're hoping. But if you have a duplicatable way to take listings, you can grow a business. You have a floor, you have some things, some principles that you can count on month after month, year after year, and you can make financial decisions based off that. So what was your listings taken goal for the year? If you didn't have one, that's okay. You got to start somewhere. For the first 5 years of my career, I was part-time and I didn't even think about listings. I didn't know that was a thing. So everyone has to start somewhere. If you didn't have a listings taken goal, take this as an opportunity to set a number that you'd like to shoot for the second half of the year, and write down what your goal is here. Okay. Number 5, I wrote down another. Let's be honest. How many listings have you currently taken? Actually signed contracts this year. Signed listings. It doesn't have to have sold, but how many listings have you taken? Not, well, I sent it out to e-sign. Not, well, I know this one's going to sign. They told me I got them. That doesn't count. Let's be honest. How many actual signed listing contracts, right? Write that number down. For the listings taken, I want you to also write down, where did they come from? Same thing with the sales. We want to track exactly what sources those listings came from and what sources our sales came from. These are 2 extremely important metrics for us to understand. We want to keep doing anything trackable that worked to take listings. Do not stop that. Do you have a way to double down on that? Or maybe you've already maximized it to the core. But either way, this is going to be critical information for us. The next thing I wrote down, what percent are you ahead or behind your total sales and your listings taken goal? This is honest. A lot of times there's a direct correlation here. If you're 20% off on your listings taken or 50% off on your listings taken, most folks are 20 to 50% off on their goals, depending on where they're at with those listings taken. So you will see a direct correlation on these, which is what I like to help agents start to understand, that when you take a listing, it's a sale. Like, you're either going to get a buyer lead there or you're going to sell the listing, or both. Like, that is a metric we can track. So what percent are you? Are you right on track? Are you happy? Okay, great. Go do exactly what you're doing for the rest of the year. Are you on track but hungry for more? You want to keep that momentum? All right, well, what can we tweak here to grow? Because we know if we do the same activities, we're going to get the same results. Or are you behind? Again, 6 months is a great sample size. It's time to be honest with ourselves. If you've gone 6 months and you're behind your goal, the next 6 months are probably going to be the same. We can't just wish and hope our luck's going to change. We have to acknowledge, okay, what I'm doing gets me here. What tweaks can I make? Where could I make changes? All right, now here's an important thing to remember. We're halfway through the year, a little past halfway through. We're midway through July. If you want a sale to close before the end of the year, you really need to be under contract by mid-November, maybe December 1st the latest. Or if we're being honest, that transaction's not going to close to the following year. So we really have 4 to 4.5 months here to get our 2025 numbers in, which means we're really not halfway through the year. We're more like 2/3 of the way through the year. So keep that in mind when you're doing your percentages. I know this was a trap I fell into early in my career. I'd feel really good in June and July when I was right on track, feeling good, but not taking into account that I'm more than halfway, that I only have another 4 months or so to get these things under. And every year I would, be about 20% off on the goal because I'm tracking for the whole year versus when it actually closes. So keep that in mind when you're running your numbers and what adjustments you have to make to hit your goal. Now, there's no harm in changing your goal. That's called reality. So if you're halfway through the year and you say to yourself, well, if I go another 4 months and I keep at this pace, I'm going to be lower than I planned, but I'm okay with that. I don't I like my schedule. I like my lifestyle. Everything is great. That's great. There is nothing wrong with that. I just don't want you to fool yourself and think that something magically is going to happen different in these next 4.5 months that didn't from the beginning of the year. I mean, this has been the same market year after year for us here in Connecticut. So we have to make a change and acknowledge that if it's not working, we have to make a change. And that's what this activity does. The numbers don't lie, right? So the next thing I wrote down, are you tracking your numbers? If the answer is no, again, that's okay. I didn't always track my numbers either. People on my team didn't always track their. You've got to start somewhere. The more we track, the more we assess, the more accurate changes we can make. We're tracking right now. This is a form of tracking. Instead of doing it once a quarter or once every 6 months, let's have some basic numbers to track each day that are simple and help us learn a little bit more on these reviews. So be honest there. And if you are tracking, if you're one of the people that have already been tracking your numbers for the first 6 months of the year, congratulations, because I got to tell you, in my experience, you're probably in the top 1%. There are very few agents that actually track their numbers day in and day out for the first 6 months of the year. And there's also a direct correlation with the amount of productivity those agents have as well, for the ones that do track their numbers. So if you do track, the next question I want you to ask, and this is really one of the most important tracking categories there is, what is your contacts to listings taken ratio? You should be writing down your contacts per day, how many and what sources, if you're tracking. And you should be adding those up. In the beginning, I would do it on a sheet of paper. Now my team, we have software we use that does it all for us. You just input your numbers. But if you're going old school, you add them up. Or there's lots of programs you can buy that will add them up for you. Either way, you need a system that's going to populate these numbers so you can learn from them, right? So how many total contacts, how many total listings will tell you what your contact per listings taken ratio is. And now once you know that, you can make changes. If you're 70 contacts to 1 listings taken and you're making 10 contacts a day, well, you know that it's going to take you about a week and a half or so to take a listing. And by the way, that's a strong ratio. Starting out, when people are just making these calls, a lot of agents are 200 or so contacts per listings taken. That's all normal, and you get better as your skills get better over time. But either way, whatever your number is, if you know it, now you can say, all right, well, if I want to take X listings a week, I know I need to talk to X people a day to get there. It's simple math, and the math works. Like, everyone's got their own math, their own number there, and if you put it in and really do it, the numbers work. This is where it becomes kind of fun, because you can really see it and do it and repeat it and duplicate it. That's the whole point of this. If you can create a duplicatable process or system, this gives you confidence and gives you a baseline that you can grow off of year after year. Okay, so that's the whole point of this. The next thing I wrote down, based on these first 8 questions, what adjustments do you need to make for the next quarter or the next half of the year, or the remainder of the year, however you want to write it? Specific, tangible, duplicatable. You can come back at the end of the year and say, did I do it or did I not? Don't give yourself an out. Don't say, I will prospect more. What does that mean? I will make an extra 5 contacts a day. Well, that means something. And then you can see if you really did it, right? So make this duplicatable. Do yourself a favor. Don't give yourself an out. Make it duplicatable and trackable. And the last question, probably the most important question on the whole list, is why do you want to make this goal a reality for yourself? What is the purpose behind it? Because if you don't know why you want to sell X homes or make X dollars or help X clients, it's going to be very hard to push through those days where you don't want to do it, that we all have Everybody has those. It's called being human. If you don't understand why you're doing it. So take some time on why you want. And here's the cool thing about the why question. My why question 10 years ago is very different than my why question today. And that's also normal. And I bet yours will be too. And if you save these reviews and you look at them 10 years, I guarantee you'll feel good about it, and you'll see your progress not only in transactions, but in the way you look at the world and your business and life. And there's a lot more to it than just the business end. So again, if you made it to here, wow, congratulations! You're gonna have a great second half if you're trying to learn like this. I love it. If you want that next video, if you want to know the sources, if you're like, okay, Rob, I want to do more, I want to make changes, but I don't know what to do for changes. Let me break down the lead sources for you. In the next video, just drop a comment below. And I'm always happy to help and share input if I can. Text, call, email. I get people who watch these videos all the time who have questions, and my team and I, we're always happy to help. So make it a great second half, and let me know what you think.